No doubt we have tons of talent. But I swear to God, when you watch it, it's a different makeup. The construct of this team is weird.
It is different. This was a bit of a timeline cleanser for them. They needed this to, get a little confidence back, and now they have Czech Republic on Saturday. Popovich did switch up the starters for this game. He had Devin Booker and Drew Holiday to help pick up the speed of the lineup. Damian Lillard also made 7 3-pointers for game-high 21 points. So they can punch their single elimination ticket to the quarterfinal round with a win over Czech Republic in the next game. I do think one important thing, I watched this whole game, I think one thing that was an adjustment that they made as a team yesterday, not just Popovich, which I felt was a big problem for them in the last game, is that they were being a little too unselfish. Like, play how you guys normally play. You're very aggressive. You get your own shot. There's no egos on this team, obviously, so just go out there and win the game. And Durant said that we were a little bit too unselfish early on, a bit us. And tonight, guys came out as super aggressive. It may look bad when the shots don't go in, but we still had great intentions ever since we got together. So I thought that was a big team adjustment for them. So Trey Lance and the 49ers have finalized his rookie deal. He signed a 4-year, $34 million contract that is fully guaranteed. They got the deal done just in time for camp to open today. Kyle Shanahan said yesterday there is no open quarterback competition right now. Jimmy Garoppolo is the starter and Trey Lance is his backup. Zach Wilson is now the only unsigned first-round pick. I anticipate seeing Jimmy Garoppolo all season, pending an injury.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to insert Trey Lance, but we'll see how he looks in preseason. Well, if he comes out looking great.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get snaps. Like, it's not the Chicago situation where you doubt the competency of the starter. Garoppolo's more than competent, but they're going to listen. You get drafted third, and you're as athletic as that young man. You're going to get opportunities.
Well, he's the future of the organization. My question is, I feel like San Francisco wants to do right by Jimmy G. So do they move him at the trade deadline if someone needs him, if it's not a great situation, or do they play him through the entire season and wait for a team that needs a quarterback but isn't going to get one high in the draft?
Yeah. It's good stuff. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Line.
I bet Eric Mangini's chomping at the bit. He's got 3 rings with
individual all-around gymnastics finals to continue to focus on her mental health. U.S. Gymnastics made the announcement and said they were fully supportive of her and her decision to prioritize her well-being. She will continue to be evaluated daily to determine whether she will compete in the individual event finals next week. So we have a bit of an update on her situation in Tokyo.
It was interesting. I saw a story this morning where she lost confidence in the middle of her jump. She got up there and just lost her way. Mm-hmm. It's fascinating. Like, that'd be a middle of a play for a quarterback running around, and you're like, I've lost. By the way, Carson Wentz, they call it in golf yips. Carson Wentz got the yips. Last year, Carson Wentz went totally sideways, and I love Carson. Could not. Remedial screen passes were a major, major problem.
Weren't we talking about this with Sam Darnold, seeing ghosts?
Yeah, like it's this. It's funny. I stayed mostly off social media yesterday. I'm sure
that was a good choice.
Yeah, it was a barnyard musical. But what's funny is a lot of these alpha males telling you, can you imagine? I can give you Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, Sam Darnold, notable players. LeBron James, literally melting down and saying, I got to give myself a break. We have no idea. Remember, Michael Jordan didn't have to deal with Twitter. Okay, Adam Silver's come out, the commissioner of basketball, and said, my players are miserable. So this idea that, she is too much for, it's like, no. The NBA commissioner's like, my players are miserable. I've seen KD meltdown. I've seen LeBron meltdown. Folks, we are putting so much, she's 24 years old. We're putting so much pressure on these kids, and they've always had pressure. I'll give you a story. So I went skiing a couple years ago. And I go into the little area to get lunch. And I sit down next to the athletic director. I didn't know him. For Columbia University. Great school in New York, Ivy League. And I said, what is your number one issue with student athletes? He goes, mental health. He goes, Northeast parents put so much pressure on their kids academically. And then they come to school and we ask them to be great athletes. He goes, we have psychologists all over the university. What we are demanding from 19, 20-year-old kids is outrageous as adults. He goes, these kids, and this is Columbia, this is Ivy League, this is who we think in America are the winners. These are the winners. He says, our kids are melting down. We put so much academic and sports pressure on them. They can't be kids anymore. They can't go to just have fun and screw off and make big mistakes like kids do.
Look, I understand there's an old school mentality that you just got to push through and you got to tough it out, and therapists are off hoax and California nonsense and all of that. And if that's how you feel, good for you.
Yeah.
But as usual in life, we are apt to evolve. And we've arrived at a place where we can finally start openly talking about the mental side of not only just sports, but life. And I really think we should stop calling it mental health, because then that gives everyone this trigger to this stigma that's like, ooh, somebody's not okay, and you're gonna have a meltdown and you're crazy. And it's like, no, your brain is a part of your body. It's inside your body. My brain is telling my hands to move like this. It tells my muscles where to go. Your brain is what causes you to be an athlete. Your emotions, your spirit are a part of your body. They are in the inside of you. Everything is aligned or nothing is aligned. It's no different than eating right. It's no different than going to lift weights. You have to take care of your mentals. Thank you, Marshawn Lynch. Like, it's a very important thing. And I saw a lot of, unfortunate Twitter gymnasts yesterday giving their thoughts on this. And the reality is two things. We've seen this with MMA fighters, too, where they've talked about they've gone in the ring and it's just gone, right? Yeah. And that's a dangerous place to be, inside of an octagon with another human being or a boxing ring, and they're trying to hurt you and you don't have it anymore. If she's not mentally there and she's losing herself mid-flip, do you understand the repercussions of that? I'm sure you do, because we've seen it happen.
Yeah.
It's a very dangerous sport to not be 1,000% locked in on.
Of course.
Okay, now we can compare it to other sports and all of that as far as mentals and everything that we just talked about, but let's keep it in context. It's dangerous for her to be competing if she is not 100% there mentally.
Yeah, it's also, I used to have a relationship, a former father-in-law. He just passed away this year. Wonderful, wonderful guy. And a member of his family needed therapy, and he saw it as a weakness. And I said, well, you're on heart medication. Are you a weak man?
Right.
Your body needs heart medication because of something you have inherited from your father. I said, mentally, people have lower serotonin levels. It's all this. The idea that the brain isn't as important as the heart, isn't as important as the spine. Like,
isn't any different than an ankle injury. It's just a stigma, and it's honestly, it's archaic. Yeah. It really is.
Of course it is, yes.
But both of us go to therapy. I am a big advocate of therapy.
Yeah, I got my kids go to therapy. I tell them.
If you would go to physical therapy, if you busted your elbow, you would go to physical therapy, and no one would be like, oh, Colin, weak. You're going to tough it out with that elbow. No!
My stepson just got an hour-and-a-half massage yesterday because he went to the East Coast, played 7 games of lacrosse, flew home, wasn't hydrated, and woke up and about fell down the stairs. It's just, you got to work on your entire body.
I try to have nuanced conversations with people, and I obviously get frustrated because I am a very impatient person. But just think about the importance of that. And then as far as her being the GOAT, like, look, if she never showed up in Tokyo, she's still the greatest gymnast. Male or female, she's the most decorated of all time. That's not my opinion. That's math. Just like we can't argue that Tom Brady is the most accomplished NFL player of all time. You can argue if you think Joe Montana is better or whoever you like. I think we all agree he's the GOAT. But it's not debatable he's the most accomplished. He has 7. That's numbers.
Yeah.
Go look at her medal count. She's the greatest gymnast of all time if she never even set foot in Tokyo. So Team USA bounced back from their Olympic opening loss with a huge blowout win over Iran, 120-66.
In your face, Iran. We dominated.
It was not the most poetic performance.
It's a weird team. We're too small, and it's a weird